I always have something prepared, and then when it comes to saying anything, I'm not quite sure what it is that I'm trying to say, which actually, I just thought that we, in Sanghas and Satsangs and on Zoom, we're here from this way up kind of thing. That's what we are. And we have these intellectual sort of discourse, and there's a lot about words and a lot of talk about mind and thoughts and feelings and all that go with that. But I just have a question: what of the body's intelligence and the kind of sensate experience that has a place? Well, in my experience, it has a place, but I just wonder how that fits in, because it's not often to do with words and intellectual concepts and so forth. It's I was going to say an experience, but it's can be more than that. So, and it's just something, well, I've just said you can't talk about it. I just wonder, I never hear it talked about, that the body has an intelligence, that the body can show us as much as a story that the mind is going through and that we have to deal with in contemplation or something. So, yeah, I don't know what my question is, but I'm just putting it out there because somewhere it's going round in me and agitating. So, yeah.
From my own experience, the body is it is the self, and therefore it is sentience itself. And for me, there was a stage where only getting in touch with the deep wisdom of the body was first of all encountering that my body, my cells, the deepest essence of myself physically was afraid. There was this no-ness, this I don't like life. There was this fight or flight mechanism literally inside each and every cell. And even when I encountered this soft peace, there was this gentle peace and bliss. Even there's something in my body, my cells, it's just I'm not sure about that. I don't want to be forced into anything. I don't want to feel like there's some fear of God or something. And I try my best to put words to it, but hopefully you get a sense of it, that somewhere in my DNA, written into my DNA, was this fear of the divine. And from eons of scriptures written by egos that depict a vengeful, wrathful deity, judgmental, likely to annihilate me on a whim just because it's Thursday, something like that. So there was a deep respect for the body that came out of that, and a real listening to it. This is where contemplation came out of, actually. Having to trust that wisdom. What does my body want to eat? Rather than telling myself, I am vegan, or I am vegetarian, or I'm not going to eat wheat. I went through all these phases, and in the end just really actually discarding all that and saying, what does my body want to eat? When does my body want to sleep? Which question does my body like when I'm contemplating? And recognizing it was like a tuning fork that sings and resonates with joy when it finds a question or an insight or an epiphany or in deep meditation. And my body's just bathing in this and really loving this soft presence that's just here and is never going to force itself upon the body. So the body gets a really bad rap. You know, if you look at history, we should mortify the body, we should punish it, we should, you know, and the Buddha was one of the first advocates I came across for that middle way. Don't indulge it too much, don't deny it too much, don't eat too much, sleep too much, or too little, you know. And I hope these words are starting to touch what you're talking about, but please say if they're not. There was falling back in love with my body, wanting to experience it directly rather than what I thought about it. Hence all those months of contemplating, because I really thought I hated it. I was ashamed of my body. I actually found out I was utterly in love with it. Quite shocked to find it was really quite beautiful when I stopped thinking about it, the shape of it and everything. The so-called imperfections, you know, cesarean scars and all that stuff, and wrinkles and all that, you know, stuff that we have. And it became, on some level, the most important thing, because I knew my body would never lie to me. Never. My mind did and does and would, if I really took it, not through any fault of my mind, but my body, you know, I can say I am the infinite source of everything, and your body goes, you don't believe that, you know. Or someone else has an epiphany and an awakening, you're going, I'm so pleased for them, and your body goes, no, you're not, you know. You're pleased, but you're also insanely jealous. So there was this absolute base level honesty that the body brought me back to, a real humbling every single time.
Yeah. And there's also that sort of gut area that seems to be really important to me when I'm not in my, or I've gone into a deep meditation. And it's a way, I mean, when we were on that retreat in Glastonbury, I was very grateful to the Qigong for doing that, for bringing it back in, and assimilating something that I wouldn't know how to do it. The body could actually take that.
Yeah, it knows. It just knows.
Yeah. So yeah, okay.
The gut for me, the solar plexus chakra, the gut, was the most challenging one for me. And for quite some time, there was this, it was really only about my body receiving the effects of my awakening. Literally, in the most literal sense of the word, embodying this awakening. Very literally, as in immediate, not as in a concept, just my cells relaxed. And the gut, there was this, you know, I'd really got it intellectually, really even got it in the heart. And but there was this big ball of fear and tension in the gut that just, I've got my hands where you can't see, but they're in front of, you know, in a real ball of fear and tension still. And that was that no thing that I was saying, the body was, because everything I'd ever done with my body, I'd done without its consent. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do 5K run faster than I've ever done without even stopping to ask my body if it wanted that. Did that even feel good? Even when I did yoga or meditation or anything at all, it was a forceful movement. Okay, I'm going to stretch into this asana now. And it was like some kind of violation. I don't know if it's making any sense what I'm saying, but there was a... Yeah,
it does. It does. And I appreciate, I like hearing you say that, because as you say, it's not often, the body's own intelligence is not often appreciated. You know, that it knows, as you say, the body does not lie. And the only time that I've heard it is when it's in pain, you know, when we've got pain and it's telling us something. That's when
it's the only time we stop.
you know, whoops, you know, I've got a problem here. Something's going on, and then we don't like it because, you know.
And I've been doing this with Linda, this simple yoga where it's not about stretching into particular asanas. It's just relaxing and letting your body go into that shape as much as it wants to. It's very intuitively based, and it's been absolutely amazing. My body has just been able to kind of yawn and let go of stuff that it's been holding on to for who knows how long. Yawn is the best word. An energetic yawn, something like, you know what I mean, right? So that was the icing on the cake for me. It flipped completely from, I'd never actually seen my body. I thought I knew my body. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was astonished to find I've never met it. Just been in my head about it, right? So it became all important because it will not. I remember Ajay Shanti when I sat with him talking about this, that the body will not lie to you. Your friends might, you know, and your mind will, and all the rest of it. But you know, and so yeah, you know, you're. I really like the way you got your hair today, and they're going, you know, they don't. But your body's never gonna. It can't.
Well, there's a lot of it that we can't see, or even be in touch with. You know, when we get into the smaller parts, and but it's still got a life force. It's still moving, doing its thing. So
and for me, getting in touch with that, and you know, is it really true I'm not safe? And there's a response in the body when I ask that. And then if I ask a different question, there's another response, and my body's telling me immediately, this is the question for you right now, or this one isn't interesting. And you have an epiphany. The reason an insight and epiphany feels so good is because the body sings for that moment, doesn't it? In response, it just does its thing.
And
it's
I think for me also, it takes longer to have that embodiment than it does for the thought to say, yeah, I know that. You know, I understand those words. I can take those words in, but to actually let them land takes, well, I was going to say time. It's not time, but another kind of allowance.
Yeah, it's like a deep, am I going to
slow down? Get through that, I know, and then come through. Okay.
There's that was the healing of the gut for me, was that willingness to just slow down. Like, I'm going to go to the gym when I find myself getting in the car to go. I might loosely plan, okay, I'll go today. But if I don't go, I don't go. Not out of resistance. It's like that my body just will not do it today. And I won't violate it by doing it anyway. It's like worshipped in a different way, worshipped as the self, revered as the self. It knows way more. It knows way more than I, as a separate being, could ever know. And it is made of the universe and the source of the universe. So there's just a bowing inside to that, you know, some kind of reverence for it in a way that I could never have before.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you. Lovely.